All right, so we're just gonna start with this. I'm gonna keep it real. I was fucking with this nigga when I came to Los Angeles, right? I was probably like a month or two in. I had known him from my past, and he was somebody that I would say it's been about 7 years, 8 years, and it was somebody that I was with, and we never had any drama. It was no drama. It wasn't chaotic. Like we had end up dating for about a month. And what had stood out to me was there was no problems, right? And then this was back when I was in my hometown in Alabama. And I was on a break from college. And at the time, he was at, it's a school down there called Miles College, right? It's like 15, maybe 20 minutes away from where I had stayed. And then we had ended up meeting on the dating app. And shit, it don't matter what dating app it was, right? What matters is that motherfucker had came quick for what I was needing at the time, right? I was at a house. It was early too. It was like early, like 5, 6 o'clock, and I was on the couch, and it was like this big ass house or whatever. It was like, to be honest, I was at my sugar daddy house at the time, and so this dude had hit me up. He had pulled up. He was all like soft spoken, and he was real gentle, and he kept smiling. He had like the biggest smile, so it was good energy. So mind you, this about 7, 8 years ago. So we was together like for about 30 days. It was consistent. It was no confusion. Then he had to move back to Los Angeles, right? So I ended up helping him. We had packed a U-Haul together. I helped him store his things, and we had to say our goodbyes because he had to come back to Los Angeles. So fast forward, I moved to Los Angeles, right? Initially, I had lived far out. I had found a place closer to the city, like downtown area, and it had ended up being streets away from him. Like he was right down the street. Like maybe he was probably like 14 blocks away. I'll just say that, right? So we had ended up reconnecting. And so I had showed up. He had opened the door. He didn't even recognize me at first, but then it had clicked to him. And so he was all shocked and shit like that. And then we had a hug. It was a tight ass hug. It was real tight. And so I had looked at him. I was like, damn, you look familiar, type shit. So I was already safe, type shit. I got, comfortable real quick, type shit. This motherfucker. Shit. He had the best gawk in this world. Like, oh my God. Like, that's why I was dating him for that short time that I did, So the moment that we had linked, he wanted me to move in like right away, And I'm talking about key in my hand by the time I leave there. And so at this point, I'm like, free rent, free rent, stability. We got a little history. And so I thought this was alignment. Like I had moved my things that day. Okay. I was grinding too. Like I was coming there. I was going out every day, grinding, trying to build, something, look for a job, work, stuff like that. But after I had moved in, it was some changes, and that motherfucker didn't tell me these changes until after I moved in. And so after moving in, I had learned that, this life that he living is different, He on all kind of substances. He acting erratic. His behavior is this is different. And he didn't tell me that he was a drug dealer, selling everything from A to fucking Z. So I was trying to rationalize this situation. I ain't gonna hold you. Because again, free rent. We got history. We can work it out. Now that I'm here, I'm thinking we can really try to be together, right? But never in my life will I play with my peace like that. Because I thought I was comfortable, and I was overlooking all those like red flags, because there was a whole lot of other shit I was letting slide like before that, you know. But I had let too much slide for real, because rule one, chaos is not manageable, okay? And fast forward, we had end up getting to arguing, right? We end up getting into like this argument. Mind you, he had did something. He like a few nights prior to where I don't know what the fuck he was on, but he had like a motherfucking broomstick in his hand. He was around the house acting like he was searching for gold with this broomstick while making cricket sounds and shit like that. I don't know what the fuck he was on, but I just ignored it and made me something to eat. I don't know what the fuck that was. But fast forward a couple days later, we had ended up arguing, and I honestly just needed space. I needed to work. And so I had chose silence over anything getting escalated. And with him, looking back at it, that read as disrespect. Bro, I was walking out the door. I tried to leave, and he had rushed me. And coming from where I come from, bitch, don't run up on me like that. So that's where everything got different. Everything changed. And I don't glorify violence. I don't like violence. But the truth of the matter is, what had happened was my boundaries had got crossed. And so a physical altercation did happen. Like, everything got damaged. We had fell on this table, the MacBook. It was like where I ended up on top of him. He was trying to like choke me out, and I kept punching. But the way we fell, I ended up, injured. Like my toe, when I had got up, because he ended up on the ground after we whoop whoop whoop. And then I had ended up going to the bathroom, right? To clean myself off, and I guess I was so much in shock, but I had looked down and my fucking toe was pointed up towards Jesus. Like, my toe was broke, my middle toe on my left foot. And so I ended up blacking out again, going back, grabbing whatever I could find. And what I found was a broomstick. And he was headed out the door. I ended up swinging that broomstick back and forth like fucking Babe Ruth in my motherfucking baseball. And this motherfucker ended up going back and forth. He could have been doing the lean back and the motherfucking Soldier Boy Superman watch me woo type shit. Like, the way I was hitting him back and forth to where it was like a ping pong. And he had stumbled down, ended up on the ground, blood, head open, all that shit, right? And so when authorities arrived, I didn't realize that I was going to be treated as the one with the problem. Bitch. Looking back at it, I would have just got my shit at that moment and went to the closest CVS, wrapped my shit up, went about my day. But when authorities arrived, I was treated as I was the one that was guilty before I was even heard. They had handcuffed me. They had questioned me without my rights being read. So I already knew I was getting out this motherfucking shit, because I didn't have any Miranda rights read to me. They looked at me as I was the threat and not the victim. And I guess because I had beat his ass so bad, and they were like, Also very biased. One of the cops even went to say that I didn't give a statement, in which that was a complete lie. I gave a statement from the moment that y'all came, and it was a self-defense statement. I kept saying the same thing, where my story did not change. It did not have no uh, fluctuations in that bitch at all. Like, I kept saying the same thing straight, right? And so they were like, he had more details, and he was all crying and stuff, and then he did look hurt, right? But at the end of the day, I was not the victim, and I didn't need no biased authorities right now. I don't need no assumptions from law enforcement. So that experience just taught me something very permanent, bitch. Even after I had got released 24 hours later, and the charges were completely dropped because the officers didn't get the information in totality. Okay. The damage was done. And so mentally, physically, and spiritually, though, I had to stay strong in that bitch. I had got the same type of judgment from the firefighters. It was a firefighter that was there. She was like, I don't like anybody. And it had clicked to me, don't be aggressive in this moment, because that's going to contribute most to what these charges are being filed for, domestic violence, right? And I'm just like, yeah, but at the end of the day, bitch, you're not finna disrespect me and say I don't like anybody. At the end of the day, bitch, I don't like you. Because she was saying shit like that. She was looking like a pelican type of bitch, and she wasn't listening to nothing that I said. And I was very aggressive with the way I was talking, because I'm not gonna mind you, I was pissed and I'm innocent. Y'all got me handcuffed to this motherfucking bed. I'm handcuffed everywhere I go. In the hospital, I look like a fucking criminal right now. And so, my God, today, I just kept my God on my mind, because all I could go with at that moment was my instincts and my discernment. They was questioning me. And so, yeah, man, I had just learned from that. Not every one of these niggas that be offering you a shelter mean it's gonna be safe, bitch. And I don't know what the fuck he had going on, because I definitely am a person to where we can talk it out. We can try to rationalize this. We can try to see through it if I'm definitely fucking with you. But when that pain be following pain, that shit not gonna stop until that person learns the lesson. And bitch, that'll trickle over into what the fuck you got going on. I'm not taking all that shit on, bitch. So it was just, that had left me with instability, and I just felt disrespected. I had to shift. Shit, I had to start looking at accountability as well. I had to look at what I did. I had to look at others, and bitch, all I know is these motherfucking systems out here, bitch. I wasn't finna be a black body in this motherfucker. And y'all find me, bitch, I ain't shut up until I had spoke with the supervisor in that motherfucking cell, because these bitches wasn't trying to hear me out. They was like, we busy. Why the motherfuckers wasn't doing shit? LAPD at the motherfucking counter, eating motherfucking sandwiches and motherfucking drinking milk and shit like that, and cookies and donuts and shit. And y'all motherfuckers ain't tell me what the fuck I'm in here for. Bitch, where's your supervisor? Bitch, that bitch came over there, and that was the only motherfucker to calm me down, because she was like, I'm gonna take care of it, see what I can do, just relax, we're gonna feed you, just get you some rest. So that's what I did. Got out the next day. And so I'm not going to be too hard on myself either, because accountability is not persecution. I'm not going to let that sway my dignity at all, because out of all of that, I felt as if I did keep my dignity, bitch, because I went from something that was comfortable to being very uncomfortable. But discomfort is not oppression. I was very relaxed, but I was just very direct with these questions that they had for me, because y'all are not about to persecute me for some shit that I didn't do, not me. And so all I know is learning that, man, I just gotta trust God, and I gotta trust this discernment that I be having with things, because when you realize that you growing up, growth requires responsibility. And the only way I can heal from all that bullshit is being honest with myself, because the only motherfucker I can't lie to is myself. And bitch, at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. You can't persecute the truth, bitch. It's the truth. So, shit, real talk. At the end of the day, man, kids, don't do drugs. Adults, stop doing drugs.